Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. Let me share my screen real quick. So today we're going to talk about how you can build the kind of billing system reminders, and not necessarily billing reminders, anything that needs to be sent on a timely fashion. I will show you a few ideas of how this can be done. Let's talk about the billing system. So if you're our customer for a few years, you know, that recently, a few years ago, we implemented a system that will send you billing reminders with a link and a PDF invoice where you can see when your software is going to expire and how you can renew it and everything. So this is how you can do it. So these are a few tables here that we use for this purpose. Let me build the project and launch it. So what is important, what the most interesting part is, obviously we could do that using maybe a mass mailer template, but this system is more sophisticated. And let me show you the data in a billing schedule table. And it will probably make more sense. Okay, billing schedule right here. So this is what you are looking at. So in this table, we define when to send emails with billing reminders. So -30 means we will send, we'll generate the invoice and send first reminder 30 days before your maintenance is meant to expire. Then, if it is still not renewed, we will send another reminder 14 days before expiration date, then 7 days before expiration date. Then we wait a little bit. In actual table, like we actually send it more often. The probably last reminder is 2 days before it's going to expire, etc. And then we will send it 3 days after it expired, 14 days, 30, 60, 90. So the order of data in this table is not important because we selected in a certain order, so the order in the table itself is not important. So this is the schedule. This is how you define when you want to send those reminders. So it makes sense. So we have like everyone's data is different, and I will I do not have any data in orders yet. So the actual data in the database is obviously more complex. I will add some test data so we can experiment with it. But actual data is obviously much more complex. So we have customers table, we have orders, we have order details because every order may contain multiple items. We have a separate table with products. So there are at least four tables involved here. So I, for the purpose of simplicity, I just combined everything that we actually need in this table, so we can actually play with it. And what is billing email? That's these are actual emails, email templates that we define to send. So this type of email will send when product is about to expire. I'm going to build the application and I'm going to show you the actual data here because you cannot see everything. That's the second email when we send when a maintenance already expired. So we do two separate SQL queries. We send or will expire emails first, and then we send already expired emails. That's the second part of it. And this part does not belong to actual billing reminders. It's something that we send one day after customer downloaded the trial version. So we can also do a schedule. We just didn't want to do it. So like next day after trial version was downloaded, we send an email and asking like how everything is going. So let me show you this data in a more pleasant way, and we will add some purchases to the orders table and then start playing with it. So I want to talk about three different things here. How to define data in your database and how to create a list of emails that needs to be sent. Second part is how to run it on a timely fashion. That's easy part. We need to create a file and need to schedule its execution. So this is the easy part. And last part is how you can generate invoices without user interaction from the command line. So we will talk about all three things here. So let me build a project. I will add a couple of like a few purchases. Okay, new in browser. Okay, so these are our tables. Orders, let's add a. Okay, makes sense. Okay, let's add a few more records here. Okay, billing email. So this is the kind of email that we send when product is about to expire soon. You can see that there are placeholders like expired, a link to the invoice online, price is renewal price, etc. So it's all coming from one of the table. So it is very similar to email templates that you have. You can specify in PHP Runner and ASP.NET itself. We just store it in the database, so we can modify it anytime we need to. For instance, when a new version is released, like a new link, a new text. Anyway, so this is how it works. There are 3 emails. So let's add a few more orders here, few more purchases. Again, it's going to be probably much more complex when you actually do it in your real application, because you can have multiple purchases per customer and you need to pick up the latest purchase. So everything depends on how data is structured in your database. So I'm just doing this for the simplicity. So let's pick up someone whose maintenance will expire soon, like in the beginning of December, in less than 30 days, something like this, or exactly in 30 days, doesn't really matter. Something like this. Okay, we have 3 customers here. So when we generate our invoices and send reminders, so this one should not appear in any of the lists, any of emails. This one should appear when we send something that will expire soon, and this one where it's expired already. So let me show you how do we actually generate PDF invoices. So we have an article here that explains how you can do it on your site. So since we use JavaScript engine, JavaScript code named PDF make. Invoices created in JavaScript. So luckily, there is a way to generate those invoices on the web server, not just using the web browser. So to do that on the web server, you need to be able to install Node.js on your web server. Maybe it is already installed on your web server. You need to talk to your web hosting company. Or if you are in control of your web server, you can just install it like we did. And instructions are right here in our blog. I will add the link to the post. So you need to download and install it. You need to create a folder PDF make or like a similar name. And then you need to run this command from command line, and it will create some additional files for you. And this is the index.js file that we use to create the actual invoice. So that's a long file, and I have added it to the project itself. So if you actually need to generate invoices, you can just use this file as a template and you can adjust it for your purposes. So let me show you how it looks here. So it's custom files JSNode index.js. So the folder name is JSNode in our project. So let's take a look at this. So this is a JavaScript file that works under Node.js. First of all, we accept some data from the command line, like invoice number, invoice data, and everything else. And then we populate the template. So that's the template. It's right here. It defines the structure of the document, like width and where every piece of information goes. And that's the text that is populated with our address. So you can just start with something like this and modify it till it matches the kind of like invoice that you need to build. So in the code that we use, so let me show you the code and what to do here. This file, I will also supply it. So what we actually do here, we are checking if PDF file for this specific with this specific invoice, if it exists in invoices PDF folder. If it does not exist, that means we just need to generate it. This is the first time we send a reminder for this specific invoice. That means we need to generate it. And if it does not exist, we just execute the following command line, which is a path to Node.js executable. On Windows system, it will be the same. On Linux system, it will be different. The first argument is a path to that index.js file that I just showed you. And then we pass a bunch of parameters like invoice number, invoice date, buyer info. And the order is important in which we pass the parameters, because in our here, so the first parameter is name of JS file with the template. So, and then parameter 2 is invoice number. Next parameter is invoice data. Then buyer info, buyer address, hash that uniquely identifies the invoice what's the item. We only do like one item, so we just sent billing reminders for only one purchase. So there is no need to add multiple items, but it can be different in your case. So let me show you the actual example of what this code generates. So we can run it that thing manually. Let me see right here. So this is our output folder, right? And this is what our software generates. I just printed it so I can run it manually. So path to NodeJS executable on your system. Then it's a name of a JavaScript file to execute, and then there is an invoice number, and then that's invoice date, and then buyer info, buyer address, etc., and all other parameters that need to be specified here. So if we run it, it doesn't produce any errors or warnings, and in invoices PDF folder, it creates the file. By default, it's named of the file is invoice number, so makes things easier to control, and that's our invoice. This is the invoice that is a PDF file that we attach to the email and send it to the customer. And it also generates a link to the invoice online so it can be paid. So that's not a real link because hash number is doesn't exist in our database on the server, but you can see that's the idea. So the idea is to build this kind of command line and execute it, and invoice will be generated in invoices underscore PDF file right here, because where is it? Where is the path to that? Yeah, that's a line that creates PDF file and stores it on the file system. So that's invoices PDF. That's our invoice number that we passed via command line, and that's an extension of the file. So I wouldn't say it's straightforward, but having this file as a template, you can adjust it and you can play with it. And the best of all, you can experiment with it using the command line. So that's how you can generate invoices on the server, and you can generate as many invoices as required